Before any speech I ever make, I always give glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because he said if you don't acknowledge him, he's not going to acknowledge you. You're not going to knock out him to let me in. And I wrote something down on the way out because I want to just read this to you guys, because I hear that Joe Biden is going to give another speech in Washington tonight, saying about the Republican, if they win, it's going to be the biggest threat to democracy we've ever seen. Yeah. And now it seems like the Democrats and the media think that if the Republican win and gets more votes, it's going to hurt democracy. Yeah. That's a bunch of what? Nonsense. Yeah, that's a bunch of nonsense. And you know the biggest threat to democracy is Joe Biden and Raphael Warnock in the White House. Yeah, in the White House. Isn't that correct? And the biggest threat to democracy is more spending and high inflation. That's a threat to democracy, isn't it? An open border, crime in the streets. That's a threat to democracy, isn't it? Yes. A weak leadership and woke military. That's a threat to democracy, isn't it? Calling parents domestic terrorists. That's a threat to democracy, isn't it? And I think Joe Biden in charge in Washington, in the White House, that's a bigger threat to democracy, isn't it? And all Raphael Warnock does is just stand right by and go right along with him. That's a threat to democracy, isn't it? Yes. And I wanted to tell you that right now, as someone like Joe Biden, he need to wake up. And know that his stance in Washington is a threat to democracy. Isn't that correct? And you and I, we're democracy, aren't we? Yes, we're democracy. And every single one of us, speaking our mind and voting, that's democracy, isn't it? So Joe Biden and Raphael Warnock, they need to know that they're going to come after you. They're going to come after your family. And that's the reason I'm running for this Senate. I'm going to put a stop to it. And I've said this many times that it's sort of like this man that died early in life. He died early in life, and as he got to heaven, St. Peter met him at the pearly gates. And St. Peter says, "Sir, you're here a little bit early right now. So your name ain't on the roll." So you're the only one in history that's going to get an opportunity to decide where you want to go. So I'm going to take you to heaven and I'm going to take you to hell, and you get to determine where you like to be. So he takes him all the way down in his elevator to hell, and the doors open up. And there was a party going on. He sees some of his friends down there, and he's having a good time. And the first thing the guy, St. Peter, came to him and said, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? He said, I got to leave now. And St. Peter said, yeah, you got to make a decision. This is important. So he puts him in his elevator and takes him all the way back up to heaven. And he get to heaven, and there are people floating around on clouds, having a good time. And after a couple of hours, St. Peter said, have you made your mind up? Have you made your mind up? And the guy said, well, St. Pete, I hate to tell you this. I think I want to go to hell. That seems like my type of place down there. I want to go to hell. St. Peter said, okay. Puts him in his elevator, sends him all the way back down to hell. And the doors open up now. It's hot. People crying, they're screaming. And the guy said, wait a minute. A couple of hours ago when I was here, there was a party going on. And Satan shows up and said, a couple of hours ago, I was campaigning. And I tell you that because right now they're campaigning. That speech Joe Biden about to give you about the Republican, if they take over, that's a threat to democracy. He's campaigning. He want to take you down in that elevator. But I'm here to tell you, don't believe him. Don't believe him, because the guy I'm running against, Senator Warnock, the Democrats, they're not telling you right now that they're campaigning. They're not telling you the truth. That right now, they're the cause of this inflation. They're the cause of this inflation because the guy I'm running against, he voted 4 times against the Keystone Pipeline. Y'all know what that means. Right now, we're going to our enemies They ask for energy. And they don't know the definition of enemy, do they? Those are people that don't like you. But yet, they didn't know the definition of a woman, did they? And I know the definition because in my Bible that I read, a woman is real from a man. So it's man and woman. That's what in my Bible I read. I'm not sure what Bible they're reading. But they said a man can get pregnant too. But I'm telling you, no, he can't. No, he can't. Don't believe them. Don't let them take you down in that elevator. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. Don't let them get you in that elevator. Because I'm here to tell you the truth. The truth is, we're not bad people. But the guy I'm running against, you heard what he said. America need to apologize for its whiteness. So that's not written in my Bible, sir. In my Bible, the Lord, our Father, said he don't know the color of your skin. He knows your heart. He knows your heart. So we got to get back to your heart. Because the guy that I'm running against, God prepared me for a moment like this. And people don't understand that. I said, yeah, because I started in this little town called Wrightsville, Georgia. If you ever been to Wrightsville, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And my mom said I was big boned, which meant I was fat. And I used to have a speech impediment, but I couldn't put a sentence together. So for 4 years of my life, I never went out for a recess. For 4 years of my life, I never spoke in a classroom. People didn't even think I could speak. I was bullied a great deal. But because of the grace of God, he was preparing me. He gave me an opportunity to go to college. I went to the University of Georgia. Yeah, I went to the University of Georgia. And I got a chance to win a Heisman Trophy. Can y'all believe that? I got a chance to win a Heisman Trophy. And then I got a chance to go play 15 years of pro ball. Can you believe that? 15 years of pro ball. But listen to here, I got a chance to be on the 1992 Olympic bobsled team. Can you believe that? There's no snow here in Georgia, is it? There's no snow here, but God was preparing me. But then he said, Herschel, you're going up against a wolf in sheep clothing. You're going up against that wolf in sheep clothing, that smooth talking guy. You got to be ready for this. So he decided to break me for a little bit so he can wash me in his blood. So he said, I had a mental problem. And I'm like, Herschel Walker got a mental problem? I'm talking about myself in third person, but I know that. But this what was so funny. This what was so funny. So I decided to go to this hospital. And I remember going to this hospital and I go, whoa, these people here are crazy. These people here are crazy. But then I realized that we all fall short of the glory of God. But what happens to us sometimes that we get ashamed of what's going on in our lives, so we start doing something else. But when I realized that we all fall short of the glory of God, my life changed. And God was preparing me. And then he said, you're ready, Herschel. You're ready now. I said, okay then. So I came out. No, wait a minute. I came out then and I started watching television. That was a mistake. Don't watch TV. Do not watch TV. Because I started seeing the guy I'm running against, and I saw him trying to separate my family by the color of your skin. Trying to separate my family. And I said, wait a minute. Not on my watch. Not on my watch that's going to happen. Because I love the Lord Jesus, and he don't believe in that. Not on my watch. And then I saw what he was doing next because he was a pastor. Y'all saw this pastor, and he's a senator too. So he started throwing those Bible verses out. He was sounding so good, but y'all saw him in that debate, didn't you? Yeah. Y'all saw him in that debate. And those verses don't bother me because he said that I'm a Matthew 25 pastor. Like, what, Matthew 25? Let me see what that meant. That meant when I was hungry, you fed me. When I had no clothes, you clothed me. But it didn't say when I couldn't pay my rent, you evicted me, did it? It didn't say that. It did not say that. And he didn't get that. It did not get that. And then he threw something else on me. He just think he could throw those Bible verses at me all the time. And he started talking because he was a pastor. He said, a doctor and a patient and the government can't be in the room at the same time. And I said, sir, a baby's in that room too. You don't know a baby's in that room too. And then he kind of started trying to bring something up at me. I was, wait a minute, you forget about it. He asked for the taxpayer to pay for it. So you bringing them back into the room. Do y'all know that? And let me tell you how extreme this guy really is. Do you believe he believes in an abortion all the way up to 9 months? All the way up to 9 months. That's not the worst part. The worst part, if a baby survives an abortion, he believes in and he voted to deny that baby medical care. How scream is that? And he is a pastor. Do he not believe in thou shalt not kill? Does he not believe in that? Well, let's not get there now. Let's go somewhere else. Because all of a sudden, I started looking at what he was doing, and he told me he loved the police. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you do not. Don't bear false witness, sir. Don't bear false witness. Y'all heard that. And he became Scooby-Doo at one time. Y'all heard that. You remember when they asked him, they said, sir, will you vote for Biden in 2024? And he went, oh. And I'm like, yeah, he don't want to answer now. He's up on stage. He's up on stage in front of the people that he's supposed to represent, and he can't answer correctly right now. He can't answer correctly because he thought I was going to fail at it. Did y'all really think he was going to beat Herschel Walker in a debate? Let's be real. He don't know Herschel Walker, does it? That's just like right now. Y'all seen what he been doing against me already? He has spent almost $100 million against me already. Is that not amazing? $100 million, that's a lot of money. That way he's still losing. That's exactly right. So he don't even know how to spend his money, but he want to spend your money. He want to spend your money. He don't even know how to spend your money. Don't let him spend your money, because that's what he been doing. They've been spending our money because he raised taxes on us. And then he said I was a liar. Can you believe that? And he went to Washington and said he was going to represent you, did he not? And what did he do? He started representing Joe Biden 96% of the time. He also went to Washington and said, I love Georgia, but yet he raised our taxes and spent our money. Did he not? Then he said he's going to speak for the women. But what did he do? He voted to put men and women in sports. He is just so awful, is he not? He is not the man we want to vote for. It is time for us to get it right. It is time for us to get it right, because what he did to our men and women in blue, and I need to finish this, he started calling them names, thugs and bullies. And now the morale is down, recruitment is down, only because it's on his watch. It's on his watch, but they won't even tell you whether it's right or wrong. I'm going to tell you it's wrong to do that, because in the Garden of Adam and Eve, they was told in this place, if you had total freedom. But if you eat or touch this tree here, you will surely die. They were held to responsibility. So it's time for us to hold people that break the law to responsibility. And the way we do that is get behind our men and women in blue. We got to stand behind them, support them, and get behind them. We don't call them names and stuff like that. That ain't what we do. But there's the people in Washington, that's what they're doing. But they're lying to you, telling, oh, we support the police. No, they don't. They don't really support the police, because if you supported the police, you wouldn't believe in this no cash bail. Can you believe that no cash bail? Where did they come up with that at? They even believe in releasing prisoners from jail. Can you believe that? Releasing prisoners from jail? And the only one to be running free in this country then will be the prisoners, because we'll be prisoners in our own home, because we don't want to be among them. It is time for us to put leaders in Washington that's going to do the right thing. And I'm here to do the right thing. And they saying, hey, they're talking about the biggest threat to democracy is having the Republicans to win. Maybe the biggest threat to democracy is to have you in the White House. That's what the biggest threat is, to have people that don't believe in America in the White House. Because how could you do the things you're doing in this country in 2 short years? Y'all think about this. In 2 short years, y'all see what Joe Biden and Senator Warnock has done to this country in 2 short years? And now they're thinking that they're going to take us down in that elevator and ask for 6 more years that they love us. We're not that stupid, are we? Oh, no, we're not that stupid. So have everyone who already have voted already. Well, there's a lot of people that have voted. The one that hadn't voted, go out and vote. And the one that has voted, get 10 of your friends to go vote too. And if you don't have no friends, go make some friends, get them to go out and vote. We got to get this election turned around and get it on the right track. Otherwise, we're not going to recognize this country. We're not going to recognize this country. They're going to change it as fast as they can, because that's what he did as soon as he got into office. He did that as soon as he got into office. And y'all see the little ones here. And just think about what they're doing to them, guys. Think about this. They're trying to now go into the school system because we're a little bit too smart for it. We are a little bit too smart for it. What we do then is we know what is going on. They're not taking us down in that elevator, but what they're trying to do is go to your kids in the school system. They're going to the school system and they telling your kids, because they're white, that they're oppressors. And they're telling your kids, because they're black, they're victims. And I'm here to tell them, don't let them take you in that elevator. You're victorious in the United States of America. You can accomplish that American dream. I know, because I did it. And y'all know what? I found out that I was black the other day. I'm gonna tell you what, I didn't know that, because that's what they seem to be telling me all the time, talking about the color of my skin. Don't matter about your skin color, because 23andMe has screwed us all up. And they don't care about the color of your skin. What you should be caring about is being an American. I said that's what we should be caring about, because what they are doing to us right now. Think about our military. Can you believe this? The greatest fighting force ever assembled is our United States military, the most lethal force that they ever been in on the face of the earth. And yet we have these people in Washington bringing pronouns into our military. Pronouns? Are we serious? My pronoun tired of this pronoun thing. It's time for us to get back to the truth. The truth is, we have the greatest military in the world. We got to get rid of this pronoun and get them ready for war. Because I can tell you right now, China, Iran, and Russia not talking about pronouns. They're not even talking about trying to charge a tank out in the desert. They don't want to do that. They want to win a war. And we're talking about pronouns. We're talking about the green agenda. Wait, let me get to this green agenda. Let me get to this green agenda, because it's like all this stuff they're doing to us. Guys, we know better than that. And it's time for us to put a stop to it. This green agenda, do y'all know we have some of the cleanest air and the cleanest water in the world today? I'm not saying we don't want to be very good at environmental cleaning. We do, but we're doing our part. We got to have other people to do their part too. And I'm going to tell you this here, because sometimes I get on Twitter, and I say things that people don't like. But I don't care, because what I try to say to them is I asked a question one day, because this is one of the biggest agricultural states in the United States of America, is Georgia. It's a $70 billion business. Is it not a $70 billion business? So I asked a question. I said, what will a combine cost today? And they told me it'll be $500,000 for a used one. A used one, $500,000. Can you believe that? So I asked them this question. I said, what would an electric combine cost? About $1.8 million for a new one. But this was so funny about it. They said you can only use it for 2 hours. Then you got to charge it. It won't work, because we got to have our crops in by a certain time. So why are we thinking about something that won't work right now? But that's what they try to do to you. Think about it. They want to take you down in the elevator. They don't talk about this economy, do they? They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the crime on the streets, do they? They don't talk about the crime out there. They don't talk about our military, do they? They don't talk about this border. Now, you've seen the crime on the streets. Is that not a shame? I'm sick and tired of seeing people videotaping someone get injured. Videotaping someone get hurt. I'll tell you, one of the worst crimes I've ever seen in my life was happening in Atlanta, Georgia. Happened on Cleveland Avenue. And I don't know if you saw it. It was on video. That's what's so sad about it. We got to the point that criminals today they're not even afraid of the police no more. Because we have made criminals heroes. We made our police officers demons, and no, they're not in my book. And now you need to stand up for them, because this crime was so bad, it made me sick. And what it was this guy sitting on the corner doing absolutely nothing. This guy drives up in a black SUV. And as he drives up in his black SUV, he gets out of the car. The guy is sitting there, someone walks around the corner like nothing is going on, reaching in his pocket, pulled a 9mm out, shot the guy in the back of the head. The guy sitting on the corner is just like you're watching a TV show. Don't move, don't say a word. The guy reaches down, robs the guy, and walks off. He walks off. That's not the worst part. That is not the worst part. You know what the worst part was? 3 people coming around the corner, sees the guy laying there bleeding to death, and they robbed him. Well, that's not the world I'm going to live in. That is not the world I'm going to live in. And I ask you for your vote to help me to change this here. This is how we change this here. We get leaders in Washington. Like my dad. My dad, when he told me no, he meant no. There ain't no argument about it. And then he told me, hey, boy, you don't like the rules underneath my roof, you leave my house. That's what we need to do. If y'all don't like the rules in the United States of America, why don't you leave? We didn't ask you to stay here. But we got to get leaders. We got to get leaders that got down to be strong enough to do it. And I know I'm strong enough to do it, because I'm not a politician. I don't sound like one, do I? I never sound like one. I don't look like one neither, because they don't have guns like this. And I know they don't. But anyway, because this is what I'm saying. I'm that warrior for God, that God prepared me to be here right now, because we're in a spiritual battle where we have to decide in court whether a man can pray by himself out on a field. Are we serious about that? We have to decide whether he can pray for himself. Guys, we got to get out of this. It's time for us to get those warriors. It's time for us to get people that are ready to love this country. They're going to fight for this country and do what they do. Because they say, as not what your country can do for you, but as what you can do for your country. That's what I'm ready to do. I'm ready to do for my country because I love America. I love America. I love my family. I love my family. And then let's go to this. Let's go to this. And then let's talk about the border. They got a lot of stuff going on, do they not? Yeah. That's just so much I can talk about. I'm going to start calling him Wrecking Ralph. Not Raphael one eye. He's going to be called Wrecking Ralph. Isn't that a good name for him? Since he's been in office for 2 years, he wrecked everything. No. Let's call him the Grinch. We're going to call him the Grinch that stole Christmas because he's stealing everybody's dreams by the both things he voted on with Joe Biden. You can't do that. This tearing things up. Let me tell you about this border now. Can y'all believe what they're doing to this border? Everyone's seen them turn their backs on it. They're not talking about it. And then I want to do, Senator Warner agree with our vice president when she said that this border is secured. Can they believe that? They're trying to fool us. They are trying to fool us and take us down in the elevator telling us it's the new normal. This is not the new normal, people. This is not the new normal. We can do the new normal, but we got to get them out of Washington. We need to get them out of Washington. Because if we don't get them out of Washington, they would destroy us. They would destroy us. And I'm going to tell you right now, I started trying to figure out what was going on with Senator Warnock. And then I realized he's a Marxist. I hate to tell you that. I'm not afraid to say it. He's a Marxist. When you're talking about abolishing the police, abolishing the court system, and getting rid of the family unit, that's a Marxist in my book. And when you sit in church on a pulpit and talk some of the things he said about America, got to apologize for its whiteness, and say the things that the United States, the problem they got is racism. You know what? We're not racist people. Do we have bad people? Yes, we do. Everyone got that. But what you have to do, you solve this together. Because in the book I read, it say a house divided cannot stand. Did he not read that in his book he's reading? He may not be reading the same book I'm reading. Is that not true? That's what I think he don't understand. That we got to come together. And I said, that's the reason I came, because the Lord prepared me for this moment right here. And I know this. So I said, if I have to fight alone, I'm ready to fight. Because I will fight on my feet than to beg for something on my knees. And that's what they want to do, put us on our knees, taking us down in that elevator, trying to fool us, saying it's the new normal. I'm here to tell you, y'all got this warrior standing in front of you right now. And if you'll join me, as my offensive lineman used to say, Herschel, follow me, I'll take you to the promised land. So I'm going to tell all you, vote for me, and we all get to the promised land. That's how we get that together. We get that together. Because I said the only way we can do it is you got to do it together. They asked me why I'm running. I said I'm running because I'm sick and tired of them putting down this flag. Y'all know about this flag, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you. Because this flag, I remember Francis Scott Key went over to the British ships. And as he went over to the British ship to swap prisoners with the British, because they had some of our prisoners and we had some of theirs. And when he got over to the ship, the British captain says, Mr. Key, we're not going to swap prisoners with you right now. What we want you to do is lower your flag. And Mr. Key said, well, sir, this is true now. This is true. I'm not sure if I can do that. So the British captain said, if you don't lower that flag, you see how many ships we got on this ocean, we're going to bomb that flag, and I guarantee you we're going to take it down. And Mr. Key says, sir, you got to do what you got to do. And they started bombing that flag. And when you're listening to our national anthem, that red glare in the air and all that, the bomb busting and all that stuff, they're talking about the British ship firing at our flag. But all of a sudden at the end, it's when daylight came and the air cleared, that flag was still there. And yeah, that flag was still there. You know why that flag stayed there? That flag stayed there because every American that believes in the freedoms and liberties that we have today, when they saw that flag getting ready to hit the ground, they laid their dead body up against it. They sacrificed. They sacrifice, so that's what we got to do. We got to sacrifice by getting out to vote for the right people. Getting out to vote for the right people, not just vote for Herschel Walker, but we got to vote for other people that believes in the Constitution. Vote for people that believes in America, that believes in the people. Because let me tell you this, the people in Washington doesn't seem to believe in America. When you have put America down like we're some bad people, you don't want to stand up for America. And I don't know why people think the term make America great again is a bad term. We want to make America great again. We live here in America. Don't we want it to be great? That's what I want it to be. I believe in Ricky Bobby. I believe in Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you're last. And I don't want to be last. I want to be first. And wait a minute, just talking about first and last and all this stuff. Can you believe they even got ministers now going after me? Can you believe that? This minister the other day went after me real hard, they told me. They said he really laid it down on me. And he said that they don't need a walker, they need a runner. And watch, they don't need a walker, they need a runner. I'm like, yeah, my last name is Walker, but has he seen me run? He hasn't seen me run, has he? He hasn't seen me run, gonna talk about me like he's talking about me. And then he don't realize that I got Jesus as my front blocker. And he can block, I can run. So we got a good team together. This man still don't know what he's talking about. And then, think about this. They brought in the vice president to talk about Herschel Walker. Can you believe that? Not the vice president, he's the president. I'm not sure what he is now because he's living in a big house somewhere else. Where is he living at today? It's an expensive house, I can tell you that. And he's not even a resident of Georgia. He came in to talk about me too. He said, I can't be a pilot. He's not a pilot either, is he? No, he's not a pilot. He said, I'm not a pilot. I'm not a pilot. He said, I'm a celebrity. He only hangs out with celebrity, and he never hung out with me, so I can't be a celebrity, can I? I'm from Wrightsville, Georgia. Oh, yeah, but I tell you this, I would tell you this, I guarantee you if he was trying to get a debate team together, he'll get me over one up, would he not? He'll get me over one up, because I tell you what, I became the adult in the room during the debate because I took one up to school. Did I not take him to school? And that's what I want to tell you. He told me he was ready for me. He told me he was ready for me, but when I showed up, you can tell he wasn't ready. Couldn't answer any question. Just continued to do the Scooby-Doo. Y'all know what that was. Oh, yeah. But what I want to tell you guys, this is one of the most important elections in our lifetime. One of the most important elections in our lifetime. When you see what they are doing, they're almost trying to tell you, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't listen to your lying ears. Don't feel your pain that you're feeling. I'm telling you to know it, that they're lying to you. Yes. They're lying to you. They're telling you this is a new normal. They're telling you that we're ruining democracy. No, they're taking you down in that elevator. I'm not going to let them do it on my watch. I will not let them do it. Because you're my family. I don't care what color you are, you're my family. My parents taught me to protect my family. So I'm telling you right now, God is a good God. God is a good God. And as I said earlier, $100 million they spent against me. And I told them early on, if y'all remember this, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. They should have got the hint. They should have got the hint. Because they may know the Bible, but you got to do God's word. And as I told my mom, and I said, Mom, I'm running for that Senate seat. And she said, Bo, you sure? Because my nickname is Bo. Y'all probably thought Bo Jackson. But Bo Jackson never beat me in anything. But my mom said, Bo, are you sure? And I said, Mom, I answered to someone far greater than man right now. I said, I can't sit on the sideline no more. I said, I won't see nobody get hurt no more. I won't see this country get torn apart no more. I won't see our border wide open no more. And I won't see them go after our kids no more. This is not the country I was brought up in. It's time for us to stand up. Time for us to get off the sideline. And as I said, put me in the game, coach. I'm ready to play. Put me in the game, coach. I'm ready to play. And I want to leave you with this. You know, I heard a story about these two older gentlemen that love baseball. They love baseball so much that as they were getting up in age, one of them was getting ready to leave and go meet his maker. And as he laying in the hospital, his friend came in and said, Harold, can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor? And Harold said, what can I do for you? He said, can you let me know if there's baseball in heaven? Harold thought that was a strange request. He said, if I can, I will. Harold passes away. A couple of weeks later, the other guy was working in his backyard on a bright sunny day like today. And this cloud started coming towards him. He knew it had to be Harold that left this world. He ran up to that cloud and he started shouting, is there baseball in heaven? Is there baseball in heaven? And the voice from that cloud said, well, I got some good and bad news. The guy said, I don't care about that. Is there baseball in heaven? The voice said, the good news is there's baseball in heaven. And the guy goes, yes! And the voice said, you're pitching tomorrow. The reason I tell you that, guys, you can't put it off no more. We cannot put it off no more. You got to stand up and be counted. What a day the Lord has made. Let us be glad. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. God bless.